this is definitely a talking tarot joint. My girl Inez, Intimate Goddess, actually was supposed to come on as well, but for some reason they won't let us add her. So I got my girl on here, Angelica, also spiritual goddess. She's also a psychic, a reader, and a intuitive tarot reader, and everything. So I want to get us started. Let me just pull in some energy and see what's gonna come out for us today for talking tarot. Well, in addition, we have the Seven of Wands and the Emperor. Okay, with the World on top. So I think this is going to be interesting. So I'm getting an energy. I want to get your energy on this too. But I want to say for the World, the Nine of Wands and the Emperor for me is somebody that came from a serious past of dealing with a lot of people maybe people attacking you. You know what I'm saying? Or just coming at you all types of ways because of your lifestyle. The World, to me, is in a general reading, they say it's about beginnings and endings. But to me, I see so much more in that. It could definitely be about a lifestyle. So because the Emperor is here with the Nine of Wands, so I feel like what our conversation is definitely going to be embodying a lot of some of the things you went through in the past, how you were able to take control of yourself, take control of your power, and push forward and walk in your purpose. This is what I get out of this. This is how you were able to start protecting your space, standing up for yourself. And it be like that, especially when you're harnessing a lot of these different spiritual gifts. People don't understand what that is. So you're kind of like ostracized or outcast by the people that you love the most. And that shit is hurtful. So from there, I want to give you the floor and ask you a few questions. Now, what was it like for you? What are some of the gifts that you experienced being who you are and being embodying these types of energies, being able to connect with the different frequencies? What has that been like for you?
Well, at the beginning, I'm going to honestly tell you, it was scary because I had to learn how to tune everything down. You know, sometimes you get all these messages coming to you at once and you start feeling people's emotions and everything. So you need to like ground yourself and be able to like understand, okay, this is not you. You're not feeling the anxiety. You're feeling the person next to you, you know, and kind of channel the message and relate like, hey, you're going through something right now and I'm going to need you to take it easy because I'm feeling what you're feeling and I don't like feeling that way, you know? So being spiritual and being a healer that I am, you know, it's kind of a hard thing to do, but I love being who I am because I can make a difference in a lot of people. You know, I don't go out and attack people and say, hey, I need to fix you. No, I let that person come to me whenever they're ready because not everybody understands the gift that we carry.
Right.
You know, and that's how I play every day of my life. You know, I go to work and I hear people, I give them advice, I try to help them, or I try to recommend them a crystal. If they're asking for my help in depth, then I go ahead and say, okay, this is what we can do to help this situation out.
Right, right. So you basically, some of your spiritual gifts is being an empath. Pick it up on us. So this explains this Nine of Wands, because that's heavy. That's heavy to be able to pick up other people's energies because it pushes yours to the back burner. Then it also have you in a position that you have to decipher through all these different energies and figure out what's yours and what's not yours.
Yes.
So you pick through a lot. So this is that World energy right here, that you're able to, you have so much empathy for people that it can affect your everyday life. So you have to get to a place in your life where you had to get more grounded and more disciplined with your gifts. So this explains Emperor energy. So okay, now as far as your empathic gifts, what does that entail? Let me ask you this, how old were you when you first recognized you had these spiritual connections?
I was going to a church. We were raised Catholic, and I was sitting in the front aisle. And I was looking at the Virgin Mary, who was in a shelf, and they were singing. The chorus was singing, and I saw her mouth moving and singing. So I couldn't believe my eyes, you know, what I was seeing. So I kept on tapping on my mother, and I was like, Ma, she's singing. And she was like, no, she's not. And then I kept on tapping on my aunt. And every weekend we would go, and I kept on seeing her lips moving and her singing. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, how come I'm the only one that sees this and nobody, you know, can see it?
Right.
So I just, you know, just left it as that. And I would stare at her every Sunday. And I would be memorizing, like, oh my God, I can see stuff, but nobody else. But maybe it's a blessing, or I don't know what the heck is wrong with me, you know? And then as I was growing older, I kept on, you know, collecting little angels and little things because I wanted it to feel close to it because it meant something to me. And then like around like 9ish or something like that, I experienced my first real trauma where I felt like something was happening. My chest was caving in, my stomach wasn't doing well, and I saw stuff in front of me. Like I felt like there was gonna be a dangerous episode gonna happen in my life. When I turned around and I told my mother, I was like, we're gonna get raided. The cops are coming. She's like, no, we're not. I said, yes, we are. I said, I see the cops in our house. And she says, you're crazy. I said, no, I'm not. I feel it, you know? 8:10 that night, the cops come in.
Wow.
And we get raided. And that's not where it stopped. It kept on growing and growing, my ability to see and feel things. And it was just crazy, you know? And then I came to a point in my life that, you know, I felt like nobody was understanding me, you know, how I was feeling, or nobody understood, you know, being gifted, because that wasn't talked about.
No, it was
You
not.
know?
It was actually looked down upon, especially if you come from a religious background, as we both did, you know.
Exactly.
So let me ask you, how did you having these abilities, you know, at what point did your family start saying, dang, we better start listening to her? Did they ever get to that point, and what did you go through before it even got to the point where they stopped calling you crazy? What was that like?
I think it never stopped. Like my mother kept it silent, but I seen my mother do things that I was like, why does she do that stuff? You know, like, you know, if there was people in the house and she didn't feel the right vibe, she would turn the broom around and start stomping it. And then all of a sudden these people just leave the house. And I used to always say, why do you do that? She was like, because they're wrong. They don't have good vibes. And I needed to get them out the house. But she would never confine in me the stuff that she knew, you know?
Right.
Or that her mother was a witch. She never shared that with me. You know? All she did was tell me, I know more than you. I know more than you. I know what you're saying, you know, and that's it. So I was left all my life with uncertainties just to explore what I'm feeling on my own and learn the things on my own.
Wow. Was that lonely, or was it sad or dark for you at times?
It was, because in my teenager years, when I started developing more and hearing sounds in my ears, I started thinking that I was going crazy. And it was a time that I thought that maybe I was going to, you know, start looking at and talking to my doctor, which I started doing. And he told me I needed to go see a psychiatrist. So I started going to see the psychiatrist, but I noticed that they were just trying to give me medication. And I was like, I'm not taking that. They were like, but you're hearing voices and you cannot. That's being crazy. And I said, it's crazy that I can see your wife having an affair with another man. And, you know, and he says, what? And I said, yeah, that is crazy, right? I said, find out and then you can come and tell me. And I never went back. Because I was not crazy.
That is so freaking hilarious. I remember on Intimate Goddess. Yo, I was like that. Let me tell you, it's funny because when you do have the ability to see, you be seeing, you don't ask to see none of this.
No.
And it's always somebody that's coming at you reckless, and you be looking at them like, and you be saying like, that's why so and so. And then it be true, and then they get mad because you be seeing it, you know? So that is hilarious. Yes. So now, did that ever cause you any kind of like depression or anything like that?
At the beginning, yeah, I'm gonna admit it. It did. I was a little bit depressed. I didn't know what direction I was headed, you know. So I kept on visiting the churches, thinking that I was trying to find the healing in God to heal me, to remove all this stuff from me, because I didn't know what the hell was going on with me, you know. And then one day, I said to myself, I'm not being fulfilled in the church. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with me, I believe. You know, I just think that
Right.
I'm truly gifted. And I would always make like a little altar since I was a little girl with rocks and everything that I felt that it was good for me to find myself in that peaceful moment.
Right.
And like when I had my daughter, I was 19. And that's when I started really, really feeling my energy growing, you know. And I can never stop feeling that, you know, feeling people's energy or seeing things. Or, you know, when I know somebody's going to pass away, I already know it. Just everything, like signs, the birds, everything was just coming to me all at once. It's like radio waves and stuff, you know?
Yes. Yes. You know, it just, I'm trying not to get emotional because I don't think people realize the heaviness that we carry going through our lives, especially as young people and growing up in a religious setting, how tormenting, you know, and persecuting it is to be
Mm-hmm.
into your own natural power, and then for people to talk about you or ostracize you or make you
Yes.
think something is wrong with you, and you trying to fight against this, and you trying to fight your gift at the same time because you trying to prove to people that you not crazy, you know,
Yeah.
but you can't control these
Emotion.
powers that you know, these insight, these visions, these voices you're hearing that's telling you stuff. Then they tell you this stuff is demonic and the devil. Now you sitting
Yeah.
there thinking that something bad is, some type of bad spirit is on you, or you know, and then it's like, why God, can you asking God to get it away from you, and it never happens. God never removes it. And it's just like you run into the church and it's like your gift never goes away, but the people never change and treat you any better. They never get any more empathetic towards you.
Fact.
It's like the older you get, the worse they treat you when it comes to
Yeah.
religion, you know, and it gets to the point to where, you know, me personally, I went through a lot of, I had suicidal tendencies because of that. You know what
Me
I'm
too.
saying? So it's emotional to hear another fellow person express a lot of your experiences, you know, because you don't, this is not a conversation you can have with everyday people without
No.
people looking at you, you know, like, what's wrong with you? Why you always so on 25 all the time? Why you angry? Why you, and it's like, they don't get your energy. They just
No.
don't get it. They don't
Mm-mm.
get it. You know, so it's I'm trying to maintain my emotions, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm right now, you know, I can feel your energy, and I can feel that you just been so bottled up with so many things, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but even through that, you've been able to take your power. And this is what I call the power of alchemy. You've been able to take that and you've been able to transform that energy and make it work for you. And although you've been hurt because of your
Mm-hmm.
own gift, you know, nobody tried to lend you any comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody tried to lend you any explanations. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
did not. You had to sit and go through all of that by yourself. So I feel like
Yeah.
the energies really is really bringing out everything that we're embodying, you know, at this point. So let me ask you about your suicidal tendencies. When did they start, and why? Now that you can look back on it, what was it that made you feel that way?
It was a mix of emotions of where I was going through in my childhood with my mother. She got locked up, and I was without my mother for many years, you know, and the stuff that I had to pull myself through, and plus trying to understand my own self, you know. So I was going through childhood basically alone, and then understanding my gift at the same time. That was the hardest thing for me, because I was like, you know, if I'm gifted, where's my gift taking me now? What am I supposed to do for this to help me in my situation of living. You know,
Right.
it kind of bubbles up in your head, and you feel like you know, and I feel like I'd rather be dead if I can't control my inability right now and what I'm going through as a human, and nobody's there to hold my freaking hand. You know, it was just too much. And, you know, like, I remember I used to cry out to God and be like, you know, I need you to help me. Like, somebody help me. You know, I need help because I
Yep.
can't do this alone anymore. And, you know, it would be like people that will come to me that have good heart, that want to see the best in me, that would try to come. And I would call them, those are your moms, your street moms, you know, they raise you,
Yeah.
because those are your angels that came to you and fed you and took you by the hand and said, you know, this is the way you do it, you know. And I call them
Right.
like your ancestors, that they're walking by you in real life.
Yep. Ooh, I'm sorry, y'all. This is a little heavy because it's so personal. You know,
Yes.
I think you hit something when you said you didn't recognize how your gift was supposed to help you. And I think that's what it was that had me in that place too. Because you're running to the church or you're running to whatever your religion is, and it's telling you that your gift is evil. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, now you stuck in this place of, well, then if it's evil, God, why you letting me go? Why is it? Why you ain't doing nothing about it? So
Yeah.
you spend your life begging on something else to help you with something that's naturally belong to you, but you haven't learned how to harness it properly for it to work for you. So now you just walking around with all this energy on you. And it does drive your ass to a place of insanity if you don't know how to put it in perspective, if you don't know how to, channel it. But that got a little heavy. So forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. That got heavy. What are some of the paranormal experiences that you have experienced in this journey?
I would say my first encounter of feeling a spirit next to me and seeing them, like that scared me the first time, because I didn't understand how am I seeing it and the person next to me is not seeing it. And
Right.
to this day, it kind of triggers me, because like I see stuff coming out from the sky and, you know, around me, and I'm like, yo, you seen that? And everybody's like, no. And I'm like, damn it, how come you can't see it? But I understand now that they're not gifted, that only me. But and then it plays in my mind that they think that I'm freaking crazy, but even though they know who I am, they still think I'm nuts.
Yep.
And I'm not freaking nuts. I know what I see.
Yep.
Because the sign is for me, it's not for them.
Yep. Exactly. What has that been like for you, like in romantic relationships?
It's been hard, honestly. I'm gonna let you know. Every day, I think the reason why I'm single is because I haven't found that person that is going to be able to respect, first of all, my beliefs, and walk in the same path as me, even though they can't see what I see or my gifts, but respect my gifts and let me be who I want to be,
Right.
without judging me.
Right.
Because if I have somebody around me saying, oh, you're crazy, or you always working with oils and herbs, and you be seeing stuff all the time, I'd rather be alone.
Exactly. I think Inez is back. Let me see if I think she's back. Let me try to put her on now. Okay, I think she might be getting ready to come on.
Let me plug in the phone. Hold on.
Okay. Inez, where are you? I think I just was able to add you. Oh, okay. Yeah, you finally made it!
Inez!
It's a hard time.
Yeah. You finally made it, right? I was getting worried. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if Instagram is going to work in our favor today.
Wait a minute, you guys not see me? I've been on there. I was sending you the request the whole entire time.
You know what? I probably got too emotional. I probably got so caught up in emotions. My bad. But I'm glad you did make it on. I'm glad y'all are here, you know.
What up, goddess?
What up, baby?
Y'all,
I just ended up uninstalling it and I installed it again. That's all I did. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna uninstall it.
like that. But I'm glad, you know what, y'all just made. I'm glad y'all here. You know, listen, y'all, on the Talking Tarot show, I got two of my fellow readers here, Spiritual Goddess and Intimate Goddess. Two powerful psychic mediums. Two very spiritual women. You know, we're all connected. It's just a beautiful feeling. I can't even explain the connection. Like, I can't explain the energy right now. I just know it's beautiful. I'm glad y'all here. I love y'all. I'm so happy.
You got that beautiful part right.
The universe put us on here.
You ain't worried about that beautiful part.
Wait, what was that? I didn't hear what you said. Say that one more time.
Girl, you need to clean out them ears. I said you got the beautiful part right. You got that beautiful part.
Damn white. Damn white. Yes.
Girl, put your mic up so you can be able to hear us better.
That's just this phone. I probably need earbuds. You know, this stuff will get better and better as time goes on. You know, I'm getting my equipment and stuff together. I don't know what I'm doing, so it's taking me time to figure out how to work all this stuff. So, Intimate Goddess, welcome to the Talking Tarot show, y'all. So we were just talking to
nobody's gonna clap for me. I don't get no clap.
I
don't get no song. I didn't get nothing. Like, damn. Intimate Goddess talk.
Okay.
Like an audience.
Okay. Take a bow, baby. So now I want to talk about with you, Inez. About
you want me to follow that? What Spiritual Goddess just said? I can't follow that shit. But I heard her story. She been telling her psychiatrist, your woman is sleeping with somebody else and shit.
Oh yeah, she was telling all the spiel. She was telling all the spiel. But
mine was a little bit more subtle. More subtle.
That's fine, because with so many different aspects, we have so many different aspects of spiritual gifts. This is why everybody is important, because there are people out here who don't know that they have that gift, and they think something wrong with them. They on Prozac, they on Thorazine, they drinking every day because they don't know what's wrong with them. They don't realize that they have portals open, that they can connect to certain energies that other people around them can't. So just because they do something outside of the box, people call them crazy, or they treat them a certain way. So it's important for people to know from the highest of the spiritual gifts, even to the most mediocre ones, or the ones that's not as intense as the others. Everybody got spiritual power, because we're spiritual people. Regardless of whatever other people want to call it, we are gods and goddesses. We are divine people. We are forms of divination in the flesh.
That's
Period.
right, girl. Amen.
Yes. So I want to talk about your gifts, though. Now, okay, I think you sideways now. You sideways.
It's the charger.
I'm trying to charge my phone. That's why.
Me too.
Yeah.
Put one of these on the bottom. Put one of these.
Like that, you know. So in Spiritual Goddess, how did you get? What was it that led you to start doing tarot?
Girl. What started me doing tarot? Well, we're gonna have to take it back about 2 years ago. You know, right after I got out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just graduated high school. So basically, I grew up around it. I grew up around brujeria and all that stuff because my mother up in New York, she was always into it, very into it. You know, calling the saints, all that stuff. She was very heavily into it. And then, you know, I'm not a stranger to it. So at one point, I believe I was about 20 years old. About yeah, about 20 years old at that time. At that point, that's when I had an out of body experience. I had a seizure, and my living room, and right there and then, I fell to the ground. And when I fell to the ground, I was able to see my mother, my father, my sisters. They're all hovering over me, trying to, bring me back. And then as I'm just sitting there on the couch. And then when I look to the right, I see God. I saw him, and he told me, and I walked over to him, and I looked at his hands, and I saw
That's
yeah. So, and I kissed both his hands, and then I got down on my knees and I kissed his feet, and he had them chancletas on, them old school chancletas. He was wearing one of those, and then he told me to go back, that it wasn't my time, and I told him how. He goes, just lay down. I'm like, okay. So I just went and I lay down. And from that point on, I woke up. Of course, I was scared. So I was running. I ran around my house. And, I was hiding up in a ball like that. I was crying. I was screaming. And then at that point, I started somewhat losing it. Not losing it, but I became very depressed. I was very depressed to the point to where I was somewhat suicidal, and I used to cry a lot, cry a lot. And then of course I went into the psych unit. I was only in there for a week. I had a lot of fun in there, to tell you, because they give you ice cream and they let you cry.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And shit, they let you do all that, and then they have that group therapy. I mean, I was the worst one there, because when everybody's there talking about their feelings and crying and all that shit,
You gotta get your good shit. I bet you.
I was sleeping. Everybody's in the circle talking about their, oh my God, he left me. And I'm like, and I'm sleeping. I was sleeping. And then after that point, I was only in there for a week. And then when I went back home, that's where I started to, so that was my spiritual awakening. After I went back home, that's when I was really attracted to psychics, to tarot readings, to all that stuff. I was heavily attracted to that. And I used to call, back in the days, how your mother used to receive, how you used to receive the phone bill, and it tell you from AT&T how you get it. It wasn't unlimited back then. So I used to call every single night when everybody was in bed. I used to be calling the psychic hotlines, $1.99 per minute. And I remember when that phone bill came back, it was $300.
yeah.
My mother's looking at my phone, $300 for what? And then when she looks at the bills, 1-800-PSYCHIC, 1-800-PSYCHIC. Who the hell is calling the damn psychic line? And I'm like, what? She and my stepfather's like, well, they're doing it late at night because all these calls take place around 3 o'clock in the morning. When everybody's sleeping. I'm like, yeah, so they figured out it was me, and I got in trouble. Of course, I had to pay the phone bill.
Right.
And, yeah. And then from that point on, I always had that interest to know more about tarot reading, psychics, and then I say about 10, because I've always had dreams. Things always came to me in my dreams, but I never really paid attention to it until about 10 years ago. I started to, about 10 years ago, I started to pay attention to my dreams, because I started to see a pattern where if I was dreaming about something, it would take place within 4 days or within a week. The longest was 30 days, but it took place. Right. Sometimes it would take place within a few hours. It's like I could dream about you, I see your face, and boom, within a few hours, I'm seeing you, you're contacting me, you're talking to me. Never fails. And then when I started to see those patterns, that's when I started to pay attention more to my dreams. When the dream stands out for me, those are dreams that I don't forget at all. So I really don't need a journal, a dream journal. I don't need that because I don't forget any of those dreams that actually stand out. So I started to pay more attention to it, and then the stronger I got, the dreams started getting more stronger and stronger. And then at one point, I went through some hardship a few years ago. I went through some hardship, and that's where I started to go to the church. And I became a member of the church. I was full-blown Bible study every Sunday, a women's meeting. I was on Saturday mornings. I used to go out there and do the Lord's work, giving out food, clothes, personal hygiene to those that were less fortunate. I would do prayers over them. I was one of the prayer warriors. I was doing that. I used to go out to retreats. I used to go to conference. I used to do all that. I mean, I was full blown, and that's where I connected more. My intuition, it was already high. But once I connected with the church and I created that connection with God, because I used to fast every Tuesday. Every Tuesday I used to fast from 6 a.m. to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I used to fast every single day. And this was all spiritual, and I used to put on my music, talk to God, everything. Half the time he probably put me on mute because I talk too much. He probably put me on mute because I talk too much. But either way, I used to do that. And then my intuition, while I was at church, everything was always coming to me in my dreams. And I used to tell my spiritual mother, the one that guided me and everything that was guiding me. I told her, and everything I used to tell her, everything used to come to pass. I tell her this come to pass. Tell her that this come to pass. Everything was coming to pass. Everything I was telling her, everything I was telling her. So my things went from here to up here. It went skyrocket. Once I made that connection once I tapped into my spiritual, my religious side, once I tapped into it, it went sky high.
Basically, your religion did not so your religion basically didn't talk bad about
No, because I wasn't doing tarot. That's the entire thing. They wasn't talking bad about me. I used to tell my spiritual mother, okay, I see you're going to have a baby and so forth, blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, she had a baby, but it wasn't her birth child because she actually adopted a baby. But yeah. I did tell her you was going to have a baby. The baby's a certain amount of months and everything. So the baby did happen. And like I used to tell her with other things, hey, I saw this, and this and that. And everything used to come to pass. Like I said, within 30 days. The longest has been 6 months. But normally it takes place within a week to 30 days when everything comes to me. So like I said, my connection got even stronger when I built that my psychic abilities, if that's what you want to call it, if that's the word you want to use. I don't use the word. I say intuitive. My intuition went sky high. Huh?
It's the same thing. The word psychic only is the mind.
Yeah. So it went sky high when I connected. When I connected with spirit. That's the word I was looking for, when I connected with spirit.
So, Goddess, let me ask you a question. Was your experience the same or different from Intimate Goddess's experience when it came to religion? Was yours the same or was it different?
I would say the same. Like when I started going to church, it was like more, I was feeling more and seeing more and more intuitive myself. But still, I felt empty and I felt confused. I think that when I decided to leave Boston and come out to Florida, and I met the lady who I consider my second mom, who's a spiritual lady, she's the one that opened up my path and told me exactly all these things that I was feeling and, going through at the time, And she said, you're gifted. And you're very powerful and you don't know it. She was like, and as time goes by, you're going to learn that you're going to work with a lot of things, but you're not here in this world to go higher, meaning with voodoo. She told me, you are spiritual, you're going to stay right here, not go over here.
Or did she explain to you what voodoo was?
Yes.
Well,
She was baptized in that kind of path.
Mhm.
So she showed me and she told me, and she was my guidance, you know. But she always told me, never let anybody take you to that level, because that's not what you're here for. And
So
I understood.
did she explain to you, well, what was it that she felt was prohibited from? What was her definition of voodoo?
Cutting chickens, using their blood, you know, working with the black magic, you know, and stuff like that.
Basically, she was basically saying, don't use your power to like do evil to people. Okay. Okay.
She says it's not within you. You were not here for that.
Right.
You're here to be spiritual, work on your cards, do your herbs. You are a healer, not to do bad, because it's not.
There are some people who even look at that, what we do, as people, and they call us witches. Why? They say that
Yeah.
what we do is voodoo. Because we'll burn a candle, or you were, they call all that. So that's why I was asking, like, what was her definition? Because a lot of people they think voodoo is bad. Voodoo is a culture, and we know a lot of history has been demonized by Western culture. So voodoo is
Your
anybody can
connection is really bad.
Hello?
yes, no echo, right? No echo.
No.
I wonder, is it doing that because there's too many videos online? Because there's too many of us. I'm thinking that might be an issue. You know how these damn phones are with these damn
Yeah.
internet services. They be bugging. So let me see. Let me try to bring, okay, I gotta wait for her to come back on. So while we wait for her to come back on, like I was saying, when I was asking a question, that people think that voodoo is something bad, you know, but it has been demonized by a whole different culture that doesn't come from that culture, you know.
No.
So of course they would demonize it, you know. But people think, like I said, what we do is voodoo, and we just
Yes.
because they call it divination. They call everything we do divination. So the average religious person in America, they're going to demonize just if you say you're a tarot reader, that's witchcraft. We don't do witchcraft.
Yeah.
They demonize. So this is a thin line between what people think voodoo and witchcraft is, because it's nothing of what people think it is. You know,
No.
and anybody can do. You have religious people that don't do nothing that we do, but they still evil as hell. What the hell do you call them? What are they practicing? Christianity? I guess that would mean that's voodoo too. So when I hear that, now that I know what it is, because that's what my religion called it. It also called what we do now voodoo, witchcraft, because it all goes back to the African or melanated origin. Anything that goes back to origin that concerns our people,
that.
they always demonize it. So that's why I was asking, like, you know, what does she mean by that? Because there is no limitation to where you can go with your gift. So, you know, and that's the thing. People can't try to limit you to what your gift is. That's your gift. Nobody can have a right to tell you how far you can and cannot go with it, because you can't put limitations on that. They didn't get that gift. You got that gift from the divine.
Yeah.
The
And
divine.
it was free.
Yes. So no, you don't want to use it for evil, but just because you use your gift for evil, that doesn't make it voodoo. That just makes you an evil ass person. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I asked that question, because to me, voodoo is when you can convince 8 billion people on the planet that a deity is a real person. And that's happened. That's some voodoo for your ass. Some witchcraft and some damn evil ass working spell. But they call it divination, and they say that sorcery is evil. But what we do is sorcery, because we get our information from the source. We got our gift from the source. So, you know, yeah, that's why I was asking for that distinction. I think Goddess is back.
She just said she's back.
Okay, let me pull her back in. I think, yep, she should be popping. There she is.
You
There
popping
she
it?
is. There she is. Okay. So now back at the ranch, y'all, because I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing on this damn video before I upload it. So, basically,
That's
you both
the reason
are,
why it's called live.
huh?
That's the reason why it's called live. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, you can edit it. It can be edited because they're not going to see the raw video. They're going to see it when it's done. 'Cause it's not going on IG. We're just recording it here. Once this is done, it's going in my phone so I can edit it and upload it on YouTube and stuff. But yeah, as we were saying when we were talking about voodoo, so my experience was completely opposite from both of y'all because my religion completely demonized everything about everything we do. When it came down to me saying that, I see stuff before it happened, I dream and have premonitions, I hear voices, all of that. There was not one single solitary person that said, you are gifted, you have a gift. It was all, that's the devil. Those are demons. What do you have in your house? Who are you associating with? What are you doing? What are you watching on TV? What kind of music are you? It was always an attack. Always an attack. I think other religions may be more open to the idea of sorcery because a lot of those religions practice it themselves. They just don't call it that. They call it something completely different. Whereas we call it divination, they may call it, connecting to spirit. It's connecting to spirit or calling it connecting to the source or connecting to the universe is all the same thing used in different dialects. Everybody have a different dialect with it. But it's at the end of the day, the source is the source. It's the source. Whether it's your ancestors coming to you or a deity, some type of spiritual figure coming to you that you don't know the name of it, whether you calling it God or whatever you want to call it, it's all the same thing. It's the source. It's all energy. Energy at the end of the day, So I definitely appreciate y'all definitely coming on, to talk about a lot of this because these are, again, like I said, these are not conversations that you can have with everyday people. It's difficult finding people you can connect to in relationships and friendships because people look at us as, that we're very weird or eccentric people, and we are. So I feel like it's extremely important for us to be able to connect with each other to know that you're not walking this journey and this path by yourself. So we can connect, bring our power together and use it for good. Anybody that use anything for evil, I don't care if you're an executive at a business. If you abuse your power, you're evil. That's you being an evil ass person. You taking what you have and possessing it for evil.
That's
it doesn't.
right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I have an issue with people in religion, really, just religion, calling what we do, saying it's evil. We're not hurting nobody. We helping people. People call us because they need clarity. People call us because they're going through internal battles and they don't know what to call it. Because you go to church, they telling you it's sin. Sin is
they need answers now.
Thank you.
They need answers now.
We're not going to flip no Bible scriptures to them and tell them, don't pray about it. No.
Nor are we going to judge them.
We're going to give them some answers. And we're going to tell them, this is what you need to do. You need to go get this energy off of you. You need to go get a spiritual path. And this is what they call voodoo. Oh, that's witchcraft. That's sorcery. God is forbidding of that. Well, whatever you call God is where the power is coming from, the source. Mm-hmm. How can you call sorcery without going to the source to get the power from the source? You can't separate the two.
You can't.
So now that I understand that's what kind of, when I left religion, that's when I became fully embraced in my purpose. Religion beat me up because of this. So I want to say that, it's a good thing that you guys had some type of embracing from your religion. Because I got none of that. I got suplex, DDT'd, okay? What other wrestling move can I think about? Power slam. I got my ass whooped. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I got beat up every day of my life because of religion. So a lot of people wonder why I hate religion. I can't stand that shit because it's all bad to me because it's nothing I can go back and say. I can't think of a gracious moment of that in my life. That's the shit that made me suicidal. It was my religion because it told me, God didn't like me. Well, it's not. Maybe if everything I'm doing is or everything about me is evil and wicked, what am I doing to make the devil come on me? What did I do? What am I paying for? Nobody had the answers, but they all told me I had demons on me.
For real.
Thinking that shit. Yeah, you like, dang, well, why God won't you take begging God? Begging God. Remove this, I don't want it, I don't want it. And the one thing I will say, the more I try to run from it, the stronger it gets.
Yep.
The
In
stronger
one part of my life, I was told that it was probably a generational curse.
Yep.
So I was like, well, if it's that, I want it out of my path. I don't want my kids to be affected by it.
Right.
My mother was told by a woman that raised her that she used to read tea leaves. She used to read the pot and the coffee pot. She used to read coffee grain. She used to read that. She told her that I had the gift. She told her when I was young. Because again, my mother was into it, so my mother believed in it. And the woman told her that I had the gift. So my mother always knew at an early age, for me, at an early age, that I always had a gift. But being that I had never showed anything, outside of normal, she really disregarded it until now. And she's like, I know you have it because I was already told that you had the gift. So I guess that's why I didn't experience I didn't experience the stuff that you guys experienced. And then with the stuff with the church, I didn't tell them about all that stuff. I was telling my spiritual mother, but again, I was being used as a vessel to tell people the things. So I was never judged or anything like that. Even her knowing that I do this now, she still doesn't judge. She still doesn't judge me because, like she says, I'm on one side of the spectrum and she's on the other side of the spectrum. So the way she sees it, she sees me as I'm limiting myself to just love, to what I do. But when I was in the church, God used me in every which way He wanted to use me. He used me to do a whole bunch of things, but right now, she says, you're limiting yourself right now. The gifts that you have, you're limiting yourself right now, because all you're doing is towards that. But if you was to be in church, there's no limits to the gift that you have, because God's going to use you in every way that He wants to use you. So, I'm not getting judged for it, which is, I'm glad I'm not. But still, the people in my church, I never told them about that. The only one that knew about it was my spiritual mother and all that stuff. But I never told nobody else about it. My mother always knew. She was told that years ago when I was little. So when I started doing this, it doesn't surprise her. She's not surprised at all.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you guys definitely have some testimonies, and I appreciate y'all coming ahead and sharing with me. Because every time I connect with somebody who's right here on that frequency, it's more and more confirmation for me, that there are people out here who are highly connected to the divine sources, and who do understand that there are other people out here that's like me, who can connect to outside forces and receive information to tell. And it's not crazy. It's not crazy. It just means that you're different. And there's nothing wrong with being different and eccentric. That's what makes you you. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. So Inez, now you're gonna leave us with a oracle and give us some good old energy here with an oracle.
Okay, I guess I could do that. I guess. Let's see, Let's see this. Oh, and another thing, before I even started doing this, I always wanted my hands, always wanted to be shuffling. I always wanted to be shuffling my hands. I always wanted to be going like this.
Every day I'm
Your
shuffling.
card. Your
Every
card.
day I'm shuffling.
Not the other one. Not the other one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted
we
to
know
use
what kind of
cards.
shuffle you like.
Yeah, that one. I wanted cards in my hands, okay? Not the other one.
Every
So
day.
I always wanted to do that. My first, and when I bought, the first thing I bought was a deck of playing cards, and I was always shuffling the cards, always shuffling, shuffling, and shuffling, and then, and I always wanted a deck of cards. One of my sisters, she even told me, why don't you go buy yourself a deck of cards? Because you're very passionate about it. You've always been very passionate about it. You're very interested in it. You constantly listening to those readers on YouTube. You've been doing it for years. Why don't you go and get it? Start learning more about it.
Yeah.
yeah.
She told me that years ago. Years ago, she had told me that. So let's see. It says, angel of action. Take action towards your destiny. Can't go wrong. Look at that.
Beautiful.
That's right.
That ties right into what we all talked about today. What's your thoughts on the Oracle, Angel? Angelica?
Yep, take
My
action
thought
towards
is,
your
is
destiny.
it's telling me how it is. Take
Yep.
charge. It's right there.
Yep.
There's no lie in that. There is no lie in that.
Nope. It says it. Angels of action. Take action towards your destiny. So whatever you guys want to happen, guess what? It's on you. You need to take action. So if you want something to take place, don't wait on nobody else. You go for it. Because if this is what
That's
you want,
right.
you need to take action. Don't wait on nobody else. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. You need to do it. You're the one that need
Yeah.
to take action. And this applies to, doesn't matter, this applies to every aspect of your life. Whether it's you
Exactly.
starting a business, whether actually going for a new relationship, opening yourself up to a new relationship, whether you going back to school, buying stock, whatever it is that you're not sure, take action. Because if you feel very passionate about it and this is what you want, then go for it. Follow your passion. Take action. Because if not, guess what's going to happen later on? You're going to be sitting over there wondering, what if, what if, what if, what if. Well, instead
Or
of you
she can
wondering
do
what
it.
if,
Why
how about
didn't
you
I
go
do
right
it?
ahead and do it and you can find out.
Yep.
That's
And
right.
don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. These are the energies that came out.
Yes.
All ties into what we talked about today. You have the Emperor, which is Aries energy. That's all about action. Taking action. Right.
That's right. Wait a minute. Ain't we going into the Aries thing pretty soon?
The Aries moon, yep.
Yeah,
Tonight,
Aries moon.
Aries moon,
Action.
today or tonight. Taking action. Taking action. And also, this is also Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. The Nine of Wands. Don't limit yourself. Don't.
Not limit to yourself. Whether it's a new relationship, going back to school, going to the gym, working out, having a new way of eating, don't limit yourself. Go for it. Take action. If you don't like the way you look, then guess what? It's your responsibility to take action. Don't rely on somebody else to motivate you to go to the gym and start exercising. You need to get your butt up. You need to get your fat butt up and start walking around or go to the gym. One or the other. Okay? You need to get up and do it.
That's
Okay?
right.
You know that you need to change your eating habit. Stop going to McDonald's and ordering the damn Big Macs. You know that's not going to help you. That defeats the whole entire purpose. Okay?
That's right.
To what she just said about your destiny, the world is all about your destiny because it's unlimited. It's unlimited. So don't limit yourself with diminutive thinking, other people's opinions, and all that type of stuff because that's going to limit you. That's going to limit you. If you taking control of your life, that means that you are taking action and you are 120, you are 220% responsible for your outcome.
It's
You're
your
right.
life. Okay, it's your life,
It,
so you need to take control of it, not
Yep.
somebody else. You is your life. Because you
that's
know
right.
what? When you old and gray and raggedy and nobody wants your ass, you're going to be thinking back, oh, damn, I wish I did this. I wish I did this. But guess what? It's too late now. It's too late now, because guess what? You almost dead. You almost old. I mean, shit. Nobody
You're right.
wants you now.
You're right.
That meme that was floating around with that man in a wheelchair, like, all right, I'm ready to sit down now.
Yeah, shit, you already on a wheelchair with an oxygen tank and everything. You ain't no good to me now. Shit, you can't even get it up. What I need you for?
Yeah, exactly. So now
You doing all this ain't gonna work, or shit ain't gonna work, man. Nothing's gotta work. I'm just gonna end up getting my arthritis is already hurting as it is. I can't keep doing this for hours.
right. And about the emperor too, I want to say the emperor is the boss. The emperor don't give a damn what nobody say. The emperor is the one calling all the shots. The emperor will tell you what to do, and the emperor's energy is so powerful, you won't even question it. You will just do it. It's like you said, do what? Okay, the emperor said go do this. Anything else? That's the energy y'all want to harness in your life. So I appreciate y'all coming on Intimate Goddess, Spiritual Goddess. I'm gonna tag them also. Well, y'all gotta meet us on YouTube because I'm gonna edit this video, put it up on YouTube and everything. So I appreciate y'all tapping in.
And you guys can also check out my channel as well on YouTube. That's Intimate Goddess Tarot. This is on Friday nights. We do drinking tarot as well. That's right there.
I'm glad.
Bring your own bottle. Bring your own bottle. Drinking
and
tarot.
Your EBT card. And your EBT card.
And your EBT card. And your personal card. Bring it. Bring it. So don't be showing up all empty-handed. Okay, sure. Bring something, and you guys will have a lot of fun because it's a lot of fun.
Yes. Okay. And we be in the club all night, the tarot club.
Yeah, we be in club. Right. We be in club mode. We be in tarot. We be in club tarot.
Yes,
that's right. Club tarot.
That's right. Yep. Club tarot.
Join us on Intimate Goddess's channel this Friday at 7. She's also a reader. Check out Goddess, Spiritual Goddess. What's your channel's name?
I haven't made my channel completely.
Okay.
She hasn't completed.
Instagram. I'm gonna post y'all stuff anyway because I'm gonna post a snippet of the video. So I'm gonna tag y'all in the video.
But my channel is up, guys. So check my channel up.
Yes, check it
out. I can't. I can't.
Y'all, we have fun. It ain't so bad being.
That's right.
Freedom. So on that note, we're gonna check up out of here, y'all, and we're gonna see y'all on the next edition. To all my seers, meaning those that's ready to take the blinders off, your third eye, and see things from a different perspective, from a higher perspective, and a different way of thinking. So thank y'all for joining me on Talking Tarot with Mary Sanchez. Also joining us, Spiritual Goddess and Intimate Goddess, y'all. See y'all on the next Talking Tarot. On that note, we out of here. Peace.
Bye.